live recording using the VS2480 and using some of the new plugins that are available for the Roland V Studios. I've got the VS8F3 card installed in my 2480, plus a number of the different third-party plugins, including plugins from Antares, Auto-Tune, and AKAI Multimedia, T-Rax, and TCR 3000 from TC Electronics. And we'll use these in a live recording session as well as during a mixdown. So I walk up to my machine, there's nothing there. First thing I need to do is get some drum tracks happening. I'll use the discrete drums library, multi-track drum loops. I've got these loaded on my hard drive here, and they're just spread out without being assembled or anything specific. What I want to do is construct these different loops into a full-length, seamless drum performance. The VS2480 has a tool called Region Arrange that allows me to very quickly and easily pick up different loops and assemble them into a full-length drum performance. And there we go. It's done. Now, the next thing I want to do, Tony, our bass player, he brought in this great loop on a CD-ROM. This is saved as a 24-bit WAV file, and I want to integrate this loop into the track so that we have a little bit more to work with. I put the CD into the CD tray of the VS2480 and then import the file. Well, it's sitting down here on my timeline. I've just flown it way, way down at the end of the song, just by itself. So what I'll do is I'll pick that loop up and copy it back to the beginning of the performance. I'm going to line it up with the first downbeat of my drums and just say, let's make, I don't know, how many copies should we make? I'll just dial in a number, anything from 1 to 99. I think in this case we'll use 8 copies. And that's done. So now I've got acoustic drums plus a loop, all synced. And we're ready to set up our live instruments. All right. Tony has his bass plugged in on input number 15. And I think it would be great. Let me hear the bass a little bit, Tony. All right, there we go. I think what we want to do is use the plugin from Universal Audio. I think the LA2A plugin is going to do some wonders for this bass. Go ahead and play a little. There we go. Gives the bass a much, much bigger, more aggressive sound. All right, next up is the rhythm guitar. Johnny DeMarco's going to play, and I think for him, he's on input 16, plugged directly into the guitar input. And we'll use the McDSP Chrome Tone plugin. There we go. And we picked out a preset called Shreddy for this particular track. Now I've got these plugins set up such that they will actually record as part of the track. I'm going to print the tracks right with the plugins, and this allows me to free up the plugin so I can use it for something else later on. And all of the effects and plugins inside the VS2480 are designed to be able to be used on either live inputs or tracks that have been recorded, or later on during the mixdown and mastering stage, I can use plugins across the stereo fader. All right, I think we're ready to go. These guys are going to play some tracks, and I'll just watch their levels as we record, make sure that nothing clips. All right, good to go? Here we go, short form. Great job. Okay, let's go and add some more stuff. Tony, you're going to play sax, right? All right, Tony's going to play the soprano sax. I've got the microphone, the new DR80, large diaphragm studio condenser mic we're using, connected on input number 1. I'll send it over to track 17. And Tony, could you give us a little bit of a sound check? Since I have the TCR 3000 reverb plugin on effect number 3 right here. I think what I'll do is just use a little bit of that to just give the sax a little more space. Great. All right, great. And Johnny, let me reroute your guitar. He's on input number 16. I'll just put him on, let's see, I think track 18 is available. And go ahead, let's hear you. Okay, good. All right, you guys ready to do another take?
We got it.
And we'll just trade some solos. I think that's what we're going to do. All right, rolling. Job. All right, so our basic recording is done, and at this point, I would typically take these tracks and spend, days, if not weeks, mixing, getting level set, getting balance from track to track, EQ panning, going fader by fader by fader, setting levels and such. But I think for today's demonstration, I'm just going to jump directly to the mixdown and mastering stage of the process. And again, I can use the plugins during this process as well with the VS8F3 card. The VS2480 has a dedicated environment in which the mastering can be done, and that's the mastering room. And from here, I can insert plugins and use these during the mixdown session. Let's go and use the we'll use the AKAI Multimedia T-Rax plugin. And that, I'll borrow my effect number 1. The T-Rax is divided into 2 separate components, one component for dynamics, multi-band compressor, and one component for the EQ. I think for starters, we'll use the dynamics processing. And there's a wonderful preset called Finalization. And this preset for mastering is just, just dial it in and excellent results right out of the box. I'll pick that, and then from inside the mastering room, simply insert that across my stereo fader. And what happens is when I do the mix down, my tracks will print right through that plugin. Okay, so there's the dynamics processing. Let's turn this. And here we go. VS2480 with the VS8F3 card. These can be used in the 2480, the VS2400, a VS2000, and also some of the original Roland V Studios, such as the VS1680, 1880, and 1824.